Okay guys, so you know the drill. Raise your hand. Everyone here can hear me. That's the only way for me to know that you are in the other side. Raising your hand. Beautiful. Beautiful. Okay, so again, questions, chat. You are more than welcome to ask any question that you have. And we stop in the asset groups. Beautiful. So if I go here to my network assets, in my network assets, I can, if I click here, my network assets, I can see all the assets that I have already in my system. Now, hold on a second, please. I'll mute here someone that we are hearing him. Hold on, please.
Server is successfully HTTPS, and I think you just need to change your redirect.
I'll mute him. There you go. Beautiful. Asset group. Okay, I can see here the list of all the assets that I have. For example, computer, MKT019, router 1, 2, a list of assets that I have. Now, I can create a new group by clicking here in new group. I'll create a new group called Chicago. I'll create a new group called Chicago. So in here, you can see here by the icon of group that I have in your group, and it has 0 computers. Let's take the MKT019 into Chicago. Click in here, and then I'll move him to Chicago. You know what? Go into Chicago and create another one inside Chicago called servers. I'll create, and another one under Chicago, which is called servers and workstations. Beautiful. So I have here under Chicago servers and workstations. So you can have here an order list of all the, for example, MKT019. I can select here group that will be under Chicago workstations, and I'll click in OK. So automatically we'll be in here. I can even select from the asset itself or from the list that we have in here. Printers 1, 2, 3, 4, and routers 3 are the word servers. Just to give you an example, they're not servers, Chicago servers. So you can see that under Chicago servers have 5 computers and 1 computer on the workstation. Okay, so in total we have 6 computers, which is actually great. The indicators that you see here are alerts. Okay, that means that we have an asset which has a specific alert from the monitoring. We'll talk about when we'll dive into the monitoring side. Okay, now why is it important to divide assets into groups? Very simple, because in that way we can, one, manage all the information, have an order, logical division between all the assets, but most important because we can limit and we can play with the with permissions of the admins. If we're talking about assets from a specific company, assets which are servers, ERP from financial sites, and you don't want to give them access, that means if I go to user management, I want to limit Brad Pitt to enter into Chicago server, so I'll go here into permissions, and then I'll select here for the user permissions. Forget that it's in a group. Okay, if it's in a group, we'll have to go into the group and change it. View inventory only in group Chicago workstations. So he will only have the chance to see the workstations in the in Chicago. Okay, so groups. You also have it in the final project. You'll have to create a group diagram that is in the project file. So that is the way that you create group, and you can actually correlate between assets and groups. Okay. If you talk about assets, we have a different way to see our assets if we don't want to use the lists and so on. We have the dashboard. What is the dashboard? You customize here actually two main ways. We can here see all the assets that I have in my system. Okay, those are all the assets that I have. I have all of them divided by type, and I can select, for example, to edit the way that I want to see them. If I click in edit, I want to see, for example, the the existing view, which is all assets, create a new view called certification view. I want to see all my assets divided by type and grouped by the what can be by the model. So I'll click apply, and then automatically here is already used certification view. I will edit the certification view. So I want to see, for example, here supplier by type. Okay, I have here supplier by type, which is verification view, and I can see that supplier unknown is actually giving me all of these different types. Actually, it's not a good example because I don't have the suppliers configured in my system. So let me give you for certification view. I want to see all the type computers divided by the CPU model. So click apply, and I can see here that I have a again, not a good example because we see here that we have only printers and others. Again, so you can play with it. I'll give you the chance to play by yourself. You can play it and have a list of everything that you want. It's like customized view, okay? And this takes me to the visual side, okay, in which you can, for example, here that I have for type, we have 17 printers, which are 81% of all my assets. We have 3 which are other, 14%, and 1 DHCP server. Okay, I have 21 assets in total. I want to see the divided by location. I have here known. I have known location. What about CPU model? I don't have CPU model. Also, I do have one. No, which is known. The supplier also. It's another good example. Let me see if in the system I have a better example to give you. Here we have different types: SNMP devices, printers, and others. I want to buy CPU model. I see here by CPU model. No, again, it's not a good example that I have in here. Anyway, so you can see here a visual side of all the assets that I have in which you can play with it. You can also go to help if you have more doubts about configuring and going into filter expressions of things that you want to see, and more specific and more specific. Clicking in here, you take out all the diagram in which you can play with it and move from one side to another, and see the groups in a more visual side, from a more visual way. Okay, so like you can play with it and move and see the topology of all the assets that you have. In this case, I have a lot of printers and all the assets that I have. Okay. So this is the dashboard, which gives you at one glance, okay, to know the assets that you have in the system. Another way to see all the assets is by going to the I have here in the Manager portal a customized view which is called Asset Manager Dashboard. The Asset Manager Dashboard gives you by recommendation that we that we entered in here the 4 pies that we have in here, which are type, operating system, memory, and model. If you want, you can customize the different views that you have. So from the Manager bar, you can also see all the assets that you have. And of course, that we have from the Analyzer side, we have the reporting. Okay, reports. We have here under Inventory, Assets, Details, or Software Hardware Inventory. If I click here and I run the specific report, I'll open it. Then I can see an example of all the softwares and hardware that I have here: 7 printers, 3 laptops, and other 3, and type DHCP servers 1. Means that in the asset dashboard we had apparently a filter which was triggered. That's why we haven't seen the laptops. So asset management, okay, that's the asset management. You can enter into it, and highly recommend to have a well and ordered asset management with all the assets. In that way, you will reach a lot of time trying to understand what you have in your organization. And everything, of course, is in the course book, which you will receive all the explanations about uploading different tiles, so information that is not shown in here, the dashboard, reporting, and so on and so forth. What is next? Monitoring. Monitoring is next. SysAid has a very powerful module which is called monitoring. And we talk about monitoring, okay? We click here in the module of monitoring, and we can monitor servers, workstation, network devices, and every critical attribute that we want to monitor them. We can configure the monitoring templates and save templates of monitoring for specific servers or workstations, and we configure any notification to be triggered when the monitoring is actually realizes that we have a specific problem in one server. That means that we have a module that all the time is monitoring the assets that we want. Let me give you an example. We have a domain controller you have a domain controller in your organization. You want to monitor if the domain controller is all the time up, if the CPU usage is up, if processes relevant for domain controlling are up all the time, and if not, then I receive a notification. So you know what's going to the system? I'll show you in the system. The module monitor the monitoring module here. Great. So in here I have here the event manager, in which we'll talk about in a minute. We have the workstations, servers, and network services. In here the SysAid has predefined 3 main entities in which we can monitor. Servers can be our web server, our exchange server. Workstations are laptops or critical computers that we want to monitor. Network devices if there are firewalls or any type of load balancing or controls we want. Okay, SysAid knows how to enter into each one of the entities and form operations. But I will first start by speaking about the server. Now, this topic about event management, event manager monitoring, we'll talk about it in the next monthly webinar that is happening this Wednesday. Okay, so if you want to come and see the webinar, which is live with me and Joseph, then you can contact us, you can contact me personally. I'll give you the link, and also you can enter into the SysAid webpage. Then you can sign in for the webinar, which will talk specifically about monitoring, show examples from our expert, which is Joseph, okay, Joseph Sugari. And so servers, okay, I'll start by servers. I have one example of server. I have a MKT019, which is a specific workstation. This case is any type of asset that we want, and we assign to have a CPU usage performance monitoring. So all the time we're monitoring the performance of this asset. If you can hear, I can see the graphics of the monitoring, how they actually evolved through the time, if the CPU usage was higher and when higher and why was higher. We'll wait for the system to load. Let me see if we have an example here. Servers. I have an example of a server also. Hard disk usage. No, I don't have here any information. I don't know why the internal network here to the test lab worked so slow, which is a shame. So we leave him and wait for him to load. So in this case, we can see here the graphical, like this. You can see here a graphical usage of the computer. You can have graphs, you can have pies, not pies, no, but you can have timeline graphs in which gives you the last hour, for example, was the CPU usage or the hard drive usage of that computer, and monitor anything that we actually want. Let me try to again trigger it, and then we're gathering more information. No, that to display. Maybe in the event manager we have the last call. Performance. No, we don't have. In order to create a monitoring entity, let's say you want to monitor your web server. Let me give an example. Your web server which hosts your web page of your company. First of all, you have to click in new. I want a new server to be monitored. So the general details are, we will link, of course, the form into an asset. Let's say my server is SUP011 here. This is my server, which is already discovered SysAid. And here you can see the details of the server, and can enable the monitoring, of course, that want to enable monitoring. You can disable it at once. This is great when we're performing maintenance and you don't want to receive a lot of notifications about down server, about server down. Then you can, by one click, disable, and then after it goes back again to live, then you can enable it to be in the live environment. And there we have a lot of different options in which we can select to monitor this specific asset. First one, performance. Okay, I can select HD usage, CPU usage, memory in use of the RAM ratio. Okay, let's, for example, select HD, the hard disk usage. I want to know when my hard drive usage reaches 70%, no, 75%. If it reaches 75%, I will receive notification, a warning, and the error threshold will be 95 or 100%, no, 90%. Then I will receive a severe notification. I will click Add, and automatically we have a new entry for SUP11 that after reaching 75%, I will receive a warning, and after 9%, I will receive a severe notification. Okay. Then I can go to URL monitoring to check, okay, the specific URL to know if the URL is up. Not only the server, but also if the we're talking about the web page, if is online. For example, let me give you the URL www.sysaid.com. SysAid.com. In here you can see that I have here sysaid.com. That's my web server, so I'll click and save my URL to here. And regular expression, you can select here a text, a specific string that you want the SysAid to check, so if this exactly is the web page that you want to see. For example, maybe the sysaid.com, we do receive a response in the web page, but it's 404. It means problem with the web page. In this case, I will copy. I want this text to be shown. No, this text. So I will insert this thing in here, and every time we'll check this text if that shows in the URL. And if not, then I will get a severe problem. Okay, a severe notification. So you can add, and then we can see that we have network services. Under network services, it's working so slow, I have no idea why. Network services. Under network services, we can see and check the different ports. For example, port 80. If the port 80 isn't working, then I'll receive a severe notification. Okay, port 80. Software and hardware updates. I want to know, for example, if a new software was actually a new software called Office actually installed in the system. If it was installed, then I'll receive a warning, for example, or hardware. Okay, you can select hardware. Again, everything's in the help, so you can give more information. I can monitor by operating system service. I want to know, for example, for that asset, a specific the service that are running. Okay, in this case, we're talking about the asset, which is SUP011. It was not saved, so SUP011. Beautiful. Apply, and I'll go to operating system services, and here automatically we see all the services gathered from the assets. So every time that the IIS is down, my SQL and the IIS is down, then I will receive a notification regarding the those problems. I'll click here the IIS. I can select. Let me just give you an example. For example, the AMS. I'll click and add both of them. Okay. So in that case, I will give for both three of them a notification when having. I will edit them because I haven't selected notification type. I will select warning for this one. If the AES is down, is not good at all, so I'll put severe. And then save. Okay. And operating system processes, all the processes which are actually running in my task manager. If the java.exe is down, then I will see severe monitoring notification. Okay, so you can go one by one. You can see asset data is actually the assets fields. For example, I want to select IP address. Everything the IP address. Every time that the IP address actually is not like 10.1.1.1, then I will receive a severe notification. Network activity, okay, we're talking about the network activity. That means the incoming bits per second or outgoing bits per second. When it reaches and breaches the bit per second, then you receive a notification type, okay, notification error regarding them. Customize, we can have and create a customized monitoring by creating scripts in which you can connect your account manager in order to, because it's more advanced. Is a more advanced selection. You have to create a specific script, upload it, create that file. It's procedure, so contact your account manager regarding it. He will more than happy to help you if you have a customized monitoring. But for now, let's just leave for performance. For example, my CPU usage, when it reaches the 80%, I receive a warning, and 90% will receive a severe. I'll click Add. I'll click in OK. And then you can see here in the list that SUP011 is actually obtaining all of these monitoring rules, criteria that I selected. CPU usage, if I click in here, let's see if no, it takes 5 minutes average until it gathers the information. This I don't have information. I have no idea why I have from here information. Seems like the server is actually down, MK019. So we can afterwards come and see. You'll have the chance to play it and work with it in your final project, so you'll have the chance to see everything and experience it by yourself. So in this case, your P11 is well protected because we'll see we get notifications regarding all of these criteria. Now, you remember the notification type that we selected, which is warning and severe. What actually warning and severe means? Where do I select the notifications that I want to be triggered? I have here under notification. Okay, I have in here warning and severe. I have two which I already created. I can go here to add a new notification, which is, for example, normal. Everything that is related to notification, I want to receive a mail. No, a service request. If I go to service request details, which is this monitoring service request, everything is normal. Okay, that means we won't have a problem. We select category and we set everything. We click OK, and then we have a new normal notification. So remember, before, for example, if I go to server, I'll go to SUP011 and I go to performance. I'll select when the HD usage is 20%, then I'll select no. Okay. When it goes to 90%, I will select the severe. Okay. So remember, before creating monitoring entries, you have to create notifications because you have to relay the notifications for warning and for error. Okay. Now it's also a type of warning, type of notification from our side. So remember to create the notifications. What else we have here? We have workstations and network devices. The difference between them are they are exactly the same, but workstations, they don't have URL monitoring. They don't have URL monitoring. They don't have network services, and they don't have network activity, I think. No network activity that they have. We have some apps which are not related, which we don't have in they don't have customized workstation, I think. No, it has. So only URL monitoring, network services. So that's the difference between server and workstations. Servers actually have hold options, and workstation network devices are quite different and are limited to different monitoring criteria. Okay. So where do you actually see all the results? All the results, you see them in the event manager. In the event manager, we have here three main parts. First of all, the alerts. Alerts receive all of the alerts. Okay, for example, I have here an alert from SP011, which says that on and off 12% of network services we're using 100% of the network usage. So we receive an alert from 80. Another alert is software and hardware. First software update was detected. That's why we receive a notification. Okay, when it was updated, we can see here that okay, Tigray is not helping us in this case. It's a shame that we don't have a monitoring, a configured monitoring aspect. Don't worry, you'll have it in your project. You'll have an order monitoring. You'll do it yourself because there are some tricks here that I want you to discover alone. In event log, we see everything was changed. For example, in SUP 011, a new asset data was created, as you can see in here. A new asset that was created, which is IP address under error and alert, in which the monitor target is IP address is not like 10.1.10.1.1.1. Okay, and last poll talks about the last information gathered from the from assets themselves. For example, we can see here that we gathered just now this information. Okay, we can see here that we gathered operating system monitoring, which is running. That means we have no alert. The performance of SUP Civil, the disk usage is actually good because we haven't we don't have an IO utilization is 0%. The LMS is running, everything is running. That means in here the last poll or the assets. And here you can see the alert for each one of them, for all of the assets that you have. If you want to see specifically for each asset the monitoring module, then you can go to the server itself and see the list of all the problems that you have one by one. Okay, so monitoring. Okay, you can create any criteria, you can play with it, you can create all the criteria, and you can even test by yourself. And in the project, you'll have a small place in which will be requested to test the last the monitoring and receive a notification regarding it, which is great. What else we have here? We have here the server template. Okay, the server templates actually are templates you can create for servers which are all from the same type. For example, we have SQL servers, and of them I want to have the same criteria or monitor the same things. If you have, for example, 15 servers which are the same, then you will create a new template, and that template you will, for example, web servers. Okay, I'll apply, and in here you select all the assets that you want to be in this template. For example, this one, and this one. Okay. Okay, so it's actually monitoring all 4 assets are being in the template, and here you configure one by one, as you know, the same tabs that you saw, and that template will go into a group. It's like having a monitoring group of assets. Monitoring settings. The monitor model also has some settings which are more timeouts. For example, if I go to a server, let's show you that I opened the SUP 011. By clicking here, I can see here that no data notification. If no data notification, I can send a notification. Actually means that when we have no data, that means anything coming from the asset. We don't have anything coming from the asset. That means the asset is okay, or means the asset is already almost dead, and everything is down. And in that case, we are not receiving any notification. So in the case that we have no data, then we can send a notification. In the monitor settings, we select the time in which we want that notification to be triggered. For example, to a ping. If after 2 seconds we don't receive ping, then send a notification, no data. TCP connection timeout, HTTP connection timeout, maximum type without data from the agent. That means after 15 minutes, then send a notification that anything that no data is coming. Means that if we are not receiving any alert from that asset, that necessarily means that everything is okay. It means that it's actually dead. It's not sending any information to the server itself. So after 15 minutes, then you will receive a notification that we have nothing coming from there. So please go and check everything. So in that case, you can have a notification for warning, for severe, for normal, and for no data also. For no data, you create a no data notification. I'm giving you tips for the final project, which you'll have to do it alone, but I'll help you a little bit. Create a no data notification, then select the type, which is no data. So in that case, you receive a notification knowing that nothing's coming from there. Okay, so that's for monitoring. We have in here all examples you will do by yourself. Those are colors of the alerts that we have in the monitoring module. Which you discover during your work, journal details, and one by one. Also, we have the help that will help you to go and gather more information regarding a specific module. Beautiful. Again, questions. I all the time say ask questions. This is a place for you to ask. Hopefully, you're asking a lot of questions, and our experts are helping you. Which is, yeah, all of you, a lot of people are asking questions. Remote control. Let's move on with our session, which is remote control. Remote control lets you reduce the time per incident to a minimum, and that's the main point that we'll talk about for this specific time session. And the first way and most common method to reduce the time per incident is the direct connection, the remote connection. Okay. We talked about in the first session, if you want to have a remote connection, we have two main types in SysAid. The first one is direct connection, and the second one is RCG. In direct connection, the admin, that means the client itself, not the client, the admin itself wants to connect the client to the end user workstation. And what is happening is that when we click in start remote control, a message, okay, a small request goes to the SysAid server, and then the SysAid server leaves a small note telling to the client, to the end user workstation, to open a remote control session. Okay, remember the agent in the workstation every 30 seconds by default checking the server. So after 30 seconds, suddenly sees the small note that at the admin workstation left, and it says, okay, let's connect between us. The connection was done automatically, directly from the admin to the client, okay, from the admin to the client automatically, and then be connected from hours and hours, and admin can solve the problem and have full control, which is great. But we improved it. Why? Because in this case, if you are a client, if the end user is actually abroad or behind a firewall, or we can find a lot of different reasons which we can make this connection very, very difficult, and not impossible, but very, very difficult. So that's why SysAid developed a new way of performing remote control, which is called RCG. RCG actually means that here in admin workstation, it sends a request to connect to the end user, leaves a note. The client, after 30 seconds, the end user opens the note. Everything is done automatically, of course, and then a pop-up message of admin is trying to connect to your computer actually triggered, and the connection is done between the server, the SysAid server. That means the SysAid server is handling the connection from the admin side to the end user side. So in this case, the client knows how to connect SysAid, and should know because every 30 seconds connect, every 30 seconds is actually connecting, and that lives and uses the channel which is trust channel between the end user computer, the remote computer, and the SysAid server. So it's actually better because works better behind firewalls. So because we already have connection controlled. Okay, if the client, if the end user sees SysAid server, then remote control will work with no problem. Let's chit chat and go to system. If I go to asset management, I can asset list. I can, for example, see here a specific asset that I have. To start a remote control with the asset, I just select it, okay, and I select it, I open it, and then here we have a tab called Remote Control RC. In here, we select the type of remote control that we want. For example, if I select the RCG, okay, we select the login user which we are logging to, and then we click in Start. Okay, in this case, this is my computer. It will create a loop control, so I will not start it right now, but know that if we're using RCG, then we'll have to use HTML5 installed and implemented, because otherwise it won't work. And direct connection, we just select here, and we select to the port to be encrypted. Okay, if you want to encrypt the port. Now in RCG, if you want to have encrypted connection, when the agent is installed, this small listener is installed in each remote computer. This is part of the agent. If I click in here, I can see that I can change the port in which the RCG will be coming, but I can toggle the encryption on or off. Okay, by default, I don't remember. I think that comes off. So no, I think it comes on, encrypted. So I can toggle on and off. So in this case, it's off. If I put it as on, then I can have an encrypted connect. So you can select from here the encrypted connection, direct connection, for example, encryption connection. So in this case, both of them will have to be encrypted in order to have a full encrypt connection. In this case, as you can see, it's encrypted, and the port is 4228. And here the port is 428, okay, which is great. They have to be together correlated, and this is coming when the agent is installed. Okay, so that is a way to start remote control to that asset. Another way is also if I go to the help desk. Sorry, if I go to the service desk. If I go to the service desk, I can see here, for example, I have a new incident or new service request, and I have a main asset linked. Okay, for example, here I have MKT019. Then I can start remote control from here, and not only from here, from the asset, but also from the submit user, because it recognizes that Joseph Sakari has a computer as owner. So I can click remote control, and from here I can start remote control. You have no idea how countable all these options are, all of these small links in SysAid. You're working in a lot of tickets and you're trying to reduce the time to solve a problem. From the ticket itself, you can already open a remote control, okay, if the computer is shown as an owner, or if it has a main asset linked to the service request itself, you can start remote control from here. You don't have to go to the list, open the asset, select the type, and so on. So if I click in here, remote control, and automatically it will start the method and to try to connect itself. I have no idea what this computer is, the MKT019. I have no idea, so I'll close the remote control. So that's for the remote control. It reduces a lot, okay, a lot of time when trying to solve a specific problem. Another feature that we talked about a little bit in previous session is knowledge base. Okay, knowledge base gives you another way to reduce the time in which you solve a specific problem. What is actually knowledge base? Knowledge base is a database in which articles can be inserted. When the end user, I'll go here to the end user side, he has in the end user here a place called FAQ, frequent answer questions. In here I click and I can see different articles were created. In this case, for example, I have 4 examples. First one, submitting a service request. I click in here and gives me the steps to perform, okay, in order to solve the specific problem. In this case, how to submit a service request from the end user. This is actually great because you can encourage your end users to check the knowledge base before opening a service request. Okay, if they have an article there which will help them to solve a specific problem, then that will help you and reduce even the amount of service requests that you're receiving to your help desk. And not only that, but configuring a good knowledge base of articles will help you to have an ordered place in which you'll have all the knowledge, okay, in the organization. And divided by categories. For example, for basic software, we have one. User workstation, we have one. For AAA, as an example, we have one. And another very nice feature that SysAid configured, when I open service request from the end user, submit service request, I click in title here, and I have a problem in my printer. I type here printer, and automatically you see a hint, okay, which says the following knowledge-based article might be relevant for you. Why? Because it found printer. Okay, so it searches automatically in the knowledge base specific keywords that you know that the end user will see in the title or in the description or in any field that you predefine. Okay, so in this case I can see printer, so I'll click in printer, and I see that I have a knowledge-based article, just one which I created for test. Okay, which was open. So you can encourage using these small tips, these small hints to the end user to have a knowledge base. Okay, how we do that? If I go here to preferences, if I go to not to preference to service desk, sorry, here I can go to knowledge base. If I click in knowledge base, this is the place in which we can add a new article. Let's do it. Why not? Let's say, for example, I have a problem in my ERP server. So ERP, I have a problem in ERP. The title will be ERP refresh, or how ERP refresh, how to refresh an ERP page. The answer will be 1. Click in X, 2. Go to Y, 3. Save, and so on and so forth. Because that I'm just giving you an example. You have a good article and rich article, and here we insert the keywords. We know that's ERP. We know divided by comma is refresh. We know that is, for example, reload, any keyword we want, and the hints will be triggered and searched by the ERP and refresh all the keywords in here. We can add an experiment to the article, or we can publish this article only to the admin. That means to the admin, the end users, only to admin. If I click in here, then I go to the end users and also the admins. If I don't click in here, then it will be only for the admins. That means things and articles that will only be for the admins. Think about it. You can reduce the time in which an admin enters into the IT department if you have a correct and well-organized knowledge base for common problems that have in the department. We talk about it. Okay, we talked about it in the previous sessions. Nothing new. So having a good knowledge base, then let's click here in end user category. It's all required because it's required for the finance and error messages. Then click OK, and automatically, if I go to the end user and create a new service request, and if I put in the title the hint, then the hint will automatically be triggered. If I go to preferences, end user portal, sorry, let's go here, preferences, set the changes, end user portal. In here, I have a small field which is called Enable Automatic Suggestions for Knowledge Base. This is the place in which you select or you unselect if you want the hints or not, or where you want the hint. You want the question in the answer in the title. Which words to exclude? I have a problem, how, do, when. So this is the place in which you can have this encouragement to the end users. Another encouragement to the admins is if you go to preferences, my settings, no, my settings, count, defaults. Account defaults is account defaults. No, is my settings. I think we have a lot of options. I think it's customize. Let's see. You can trigger the place in which you want to encourage your admins to in the preference. Every time, not password, sorry, preferences. Every time that a new service request is closed, a new pop-up message will trigger. Do you want to insert this service request into a knowledge base? Into the knowledge base. Let me open the preferences, and let me dive into the preferences. My settings. No, I know where is under service desk. I trigger again. Service desk. Under service desk, we have here service desk settings, and here we have a small when closing service request, ask whether to add knowledge base and self-service. In this case, I checked. That encourages the admins when a new service request is closed. You know what? Let me try to close a new service request to see if we can get the message. Status will be closed, and then this service request is assigned to purchasing, so I'll assign it to myself. Thank you. I'll click OK, and we'll see. Do you want to insert the service request to the knowledge base? If you click yes, then it automatically send it to the knowledge base, and in there you can already create with having all the categories and question also with the description and the answer already predefined in the system, which will save you a lot of time. So use the knowledge base and have knowledge base, and I talk about it and I say about all the time we have customers that have specific IT personnel which in charge only to have a rich knowledge-based article and enrich the end users to, okay? And then final projects and tasks. This is something that I wanted to show you, which we have another, let me see, another 5 minutes, which is great. In this place, this module which you also have in the course book is a place in which you can create any type of project or task in your IT department. It gives you the chance to manage that task and to go over it and follow it. For example, in here I have an example already predefined, which we have a project which is application implementation. Okay, application implementation actually is migration to a new ERP system. Every project is actually built by different tasks. Okay, 6 tasks in here. First of all, we have to install the new ERP. 2, we have to migrate a copy data from the existing system, then run tests on pilot groups, train users on the new system, install the ERP in the production environment, and migrate all the copy data from the existing system to the new one. Okay, those are all the tasks that I selected for the project. So this module gives you the chance to perform a management of every type of procedure that you want, okay, regarding tasks and projects. In order to create a new project, you click here in Add New Project. You know what? Let's try to create a new project together. And let me see if you have in here a new project. And try to create a new one. No, the system is working so slow that will be very, very hard to show you the thing I wanted to show you. So I think that the best way to do, if you want to be smart, is leave this small topic for the next session, the beginning. That we'll do it order, and I will show you example how to create, because this is working very, very slow, and it's just a shame to show you the state. So I will create a new environment. I'll create a new environment system which will work on it, and I'll show you the task and project management. Okay, and also that will be in the next session. Okay, in order for us to do it smart, have time work on it, and also for you to be fair, ask questions regarding in project, because it's something that we will have in the final project. Okay, that you have to do. So we already reached our time. We talked about a lot of things, and we left a depth for next session, which is task and project. Again, hope you enjoyed, okay, like every session. Send emails, okay, ask questions, not only about any doubt you have. Tell us how your experience is going, how you like the sessions, which things you want us to improve, touch more, speak a little bit more about this specific thing or that specific things. Okay, so be part. Okay, we are here to hear you and to help you. Okay, and to take you to be a certified SysAid, which of course that all of you will be after finishing the 8 sessions. And again, I say all this is the beauty about the program. Okay, you can move sessions around, you can improve, you can give more focus on specific things, less focus on other things which are less important for the students, for the participants. Okay, which is actually great. Okay, the recordings, okay, the recordings of the sessions will be up as soon as possible. Okay, give it time. Okay, we are rendering the videos, we are uploading it. We are we have a lot of different parts. Okay, we have a specific person here which is in charge of the video and audio. We have a lot of people, so it takes time. It goes hand to hand. Finally, you'll have everything. Don't worry. Okay, I'll give you a notification when everything will be up and running. Okay, so hope you enjoyed. I will be here for the next minutes for the any question that you may have, and you know, this Thursday. So see you, and yeah, the next time in the same channel, I'll be here. And also, if you want to come to the webinar on Wednesday, sign up in the SysAid page. We'll talk about monitoring in depth, okay, with our expert in monitoring, which is Joseph. So you're more than welcome to come and participate in the webinar. You'll see us there live, and you will enjoy. Okay, so thank you very much. I will mute myself, and I will be here in the chat for a question you may have. Thank you.